Sync it up.
Hit the rim.
Boom.
Not synced.
Take 1 or 2.
And it's synced now.
Take one.
Yeah, that other take wasn't even a take.
Yeah. We don't talk about the other one.
Take credit.
Oh, man.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Monkey with a big forehead.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yo, forehead.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about this.
So
thing
it's
that
lit. We
just-
got Anthony Ty Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Boo.
yes.
He booed
Hiss.
himself. Nobody
Boo
else booed.
hiss.
Just to let y'all know, he booed himself.
That wasn't directed towards us.
And no, he doesn't suffer from low self-esteem. He just booed himself. For
It's
some
like
reason.
you know, the ancient, you know, karate masters. They beat themselves if they didn't get a move right. So
Well, I think that's something we can all relate to as musicians. You know,
Yep.
like we're
Samurai.
all our own worst critics.
True.
Right?
True. But anyways,
I'm
yes.
here. Can
I'm
you
here.
feel
Thank
that?
you for allowing me to cause trouble and ruckus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, man. We appreciate
yeah,
you
man,
pulling
for
up.
sure.
It's always good watching you and Courtney go head to head.
He's better than me, so
Is this called
I don't ever say
the
that.
False Files podcast?
I'm better than
That's
both
a
of
lie.
you, so-
Yeah, Darius is better than both of us.
It's
Anyways,
the
Yeah, he is. He actually is.
Self-depreciating boys.
yeah. We're at like minute 3 and already are booing ourselves, saying that we
was
suck. You know,
horrible.
usual.
These two amazing drummers. Two of the most amazing drummers I know personally.
Yeah, they're the only people I actually like playing with, as far as drummers.
That's
For all
dope.
you other drummers that I play with, sorry.
You heard it here first.
They're like,
Hot take
These are my
number one.
favorite. These are my favorite two people.
it is what it is.
It is what
It is what it is.
I
all
mean,
good.
just look at them.
Boom.
Jesus Christ. Have you heard them play the drums?
They just did.
Yeah, so we were, you know,
Unless we're putting this first.
Well, is this going to be after the video? Yeah, we'll work that out later. Did you
we'll
see the
figure it
video
out.
we
We'll,
made?
yeah,
You did
we'll
it.
parcel up the clips.
What we're gonna
If
do
it's
is-
in future tense, we'll put it before. If it's in past tense, we'll put it after.
no, we're listening back and they're trading eights, and you can't even tell what's going. I mean, in a good way, you can't tell like who's when it's changing over. It's just one fluid thought.
Yeah.
For like 132 measures. It's nuts.
Yeah.
True.
And when you're trading, that's something a lot of musicians miss out on when they're trading. You know, I've noticed is like actually making it mesh together into
Yeah.
one thought instead of two people just being like, here's something I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then, well, now I'm just randomly going to come in with this. Like that was actually a clean handoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the double drum the history of double drumming in a band, not just like shedding and trading, is like it's too old for it to not be like it was today in terms of like with a full band around it. And like you said, making sure that the trading back and forth was nice and clear and everything. It's I don't think I've ever recorded double drums before.
Yeah.
No, we did, and it was with you. So this,
Yeah, we
so
did, yeah.
this is the only time it's happened. But it was fun because it gave the song and the relationship between all the band members a different feel since we had to trade, but kind of make sure it was seamless. And you know, I might start with his last phrase, or he might end with my first phrase. You know, stuff like that. Drum
That's
stuff.
all about just talking and repeating. It's like if somebody says something to you, they ask you a question, you answer it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
Or if you're just having a conversation, you just bounce off each other. So
Or just grooving at the same
Yeah.
time, because I mean, James Brown did that, and that was back in the
solid.
'60s with Jabba
Clyde
and
and yeah.
all that stuff. So it was nice doing that because then it's like you have to think less selfishly. It forces you to listen and open your ears up.
I feel like it may force some people to sit in the pocket a little bit tighter too.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get in the pocket, lock it, and rock it.
there you go.
It's not about you. We're all servicing the music.
That's
gods
true.
here,
That's also
you know?
true.
Like,
Yep.
and you guys are genuinely looking at each other, and like while the other person is soloing, I see you guys like looking like, oh,
Yeah.
no, he didn't.
Yeah. Well, that's another aspect of it is like when it's not about the double drum thing. You know, because there was plenty of spots in the song, like we didn't start trading and soloing until the end. So it was like before that point, we still had to make sure that we were not getting in each other's way, but also our both of our individual grooves locking into the same like quantization, I guess. Because like even a 16th note can feel different, but when you play it back, there aren't a bunch of like flams or things like right before something else. Like especially snare hits. That was one thing we really, especially on Wednesday, we were trying to lock in because it's because you're serving the music. Even if it's a double drum thing, it's not always about double drums.
Exactly. Even if you end up playing like the same exact groove,
Yeah.
I feel like that's when you're like super locked.
Mm-hmm.
Playing the same exact groove at the same rate, ghost notes, swing, and everything is exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just ultimately, like you said, just talking back and forth and just paying attention, for sure, paying attention, because you got to listen more, because now you got somebody else playing the exact same thing you playing. Just like if we had 2 bass players or we had 2 guitar players, you know what I mean? You gotta.
Now 2 bass players, that's a hard one to play.
Yeah.
Other than that.
Most of the times that y'all were going back and forth, I can tell when it was Courtney, because you'll just hear in the background, "Hey!"
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. If I yell, it's usually for someone else, or if I mess up.
Way more vocal than I
Yeah.
am.
Right,
So
right, yeah.
If I
You'd
mess
be
up,
like,
yeah,
shit.
yeah, exactly. So like, if I yell, then it's either someone else is playing or I just messed up. So that's
Yeah, you would. It would be a little cocky to be always yelling for yourself.
yeah.
Just play something.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
Did y'all hear that? Did you see that? Did you see it?
You always
Love
boo
myself.
for someone else.
I just forgot
That
what
was
you
the
did.
most
Talking to
even
yourself, you
roll
better
I've ever
play.
heard.
I better play.
Yeah, at that point, it's kind of just like, all right, okay, all
Yeah,
right,
trash.
got to move on now, because
Yeah.
Man.
yeah, but it was really fun. It was really fun, especially in 11 too.
Yeah.
I almost forgot.
11 is almost
Yeah.
like 7 for drummers too. At the same time, like it's like an extended. Well, it is an extended 7, but
Yeah.
the way like you can phrase it, it kind of opens. Like 7 feels pretty good. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It feels super good.
Mm.
Like that's like probably the next thing I would probably want to jump to. Like even if I was playing in 4, I would jump to 7 and come back, because I know how many times it wraps around easily, but it just feels
Right.
good.
Yeah.
In 4. Like that's the same thing with 11, and just playing in 11. Yeah, it's a fun little extension on the bar if you want to. Yeah, if you want to put it
Yeah,
that way.
but it takes a lot longer for it to come back around. If you do like start doing polyrhythms in 4,
Yeah.
then you got 11. You got to do it 11 times for it to come back.
Yeah,
around instead of
exactly.
7 times, so you can extend the phrase and get everyone completely lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes into play
Unless they're on
with
the
with looking at it more in like time in terms of like duration and space instead of like, you know, metronomically gridded out time. Because I mean, like because we did that several times, if it was stretching and bending stuff, but coming back to the one. If we only played like on the grid or certain subdivisions in 11, it probably would have gotten boring really quick, just because you know, if you look at it in terms of like, if you're able to let your hands go and your body go and still be able to, in your mind, be able to like count or sing the phrase that's going on, it's easier to just be like, there's 2 individual things happening, but they're related. So when you always come back to one on time, even if your left hand's just like playing random notes within the measure.
Yeah.
But it takes a certain amount of trust too from the band, because if you do that, then they might be like, I think he's just, I think that's a load of crap. I don't think he knows where he is.
But see, okay, so that brings me to a good question, because I got a lot of people to ask me that about like playing off time or whatever. Phrase? Do you sing the phrase? Would you rather sing the phrase or count? My answer is
you practice singing and you practice counting, and then when you play, you do neither.
I feel it.
That's true. I mean, like, you
just play
shouldn't.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, thinking while doing something like that is only going to hurt you in the long run.
Yeah.
But it's like, what is your subconscious doing in terms of that? I mean, like, counting, I think that saying, like, singing or counting is, like, a little black and white, just because, like, I wouldn't say I'm counting.
Yeah.
But, like, I wouldn't say that I'm also not, like, I'm aware of the mathematics of
The phrase. Yeah.
the phrase. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of like the numbers are going and the melody's going, but it's not like I'm thinking too much about it, because once you get that phrase locked in, especially how you guys phrase it with the 4 and then the 7, it's like, if you have that, then like, who cares about 11 at that point? Because now you have like 4, you have 7, you have 2 smaller 11s inside of the, or if you could
Well, and
stretch.
I counted like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That's how
that too.
you know?
Exactly.
But yeah, if you're just sitting there counting, you're probably missing out on expressing yourself as much.
Yeah.
If you're just hella like, it's almost like you haven't practiced it enough or something.
Right.
If you have to sit there like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7,
Well, and that's also like a very Western viewpoint, because like if you look at like indie music and like tabla players, like they are like some of the most complex phrasing in terms of like they might be playing 30,000 bars, but they're playing the same phrase over that whole super long period of time.
Yeah.
While like a drone is going, while there's like a melody going, or like just like a take-a or a groove, and like you're like, they're not gonna make that. Their hands are just going. They're like, they're not gonna make that.
And
And then they just boom.
They know exactly
And then
where
you
they're
could
at.
sell because they just look. It's like almost like the JD Blair over the shoulder thing. Like they know what they just did. Because if you practice just by yourself for so long, you're not going to get used to like, compensating for
communication,
for
yeah.
natural,
Yeah.
time differences. Like Courtney and I think about 16th notes differently. Even if it's extremely close, it can be just like a 64th off from each other. But it's like knowing where he's going to land that snare.
Yep.
Or if he's going for a displaced idea, where that's going to land. As opposed to if I play, I'm a little ahead. So I'm always aware of like, okay, if I push this, then I need to make sure that I leave a little space before I hit the 1 because, stuff like that. So it was good to lock it in, and we did that a little bit when we sound checked, but it was sick. It ended up really, really cool.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you guys like would make statements at different times, so you were finding your little moments to rat-tat-tat-tat.
Yeah.
Like one guy's holding down the groove and one guy's like, I got something to say outside of the groove right now, like
Yeah.
and it just left room for that
Yeah.
because everyone's listening.
Yep.
Listening is the most important thing.
100%.
Can we just get
Man, period.
Yeah.
a
If you
shout
don't-
out to
if you
listening?
Don't listen, yeah, I know, right? You can follow listen at Instagram. For real, hashtag listen.
Yeah, 100%.
Man.
No, yeah, a lot of fools don't listen, and it's there's nothing more infuriating than when fools are not listening. It's like,
And you
bro,
can tell.
are
Especially
you-
if everybody's
are you gonna-
listening except for that
You
one
can hear
person.
them not hearing.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, are you not aware that like you're about 35 decibels too loud right now? Are you not?
You're not listening.
Yeah.
You're not listening. Like everybody has come down, or the exact opposite. Like, okay, we're at 10 right now. Why are you still like playing this like a ballad? We're not-
I think that can also come from not listening to enough music in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like not knowing what double drums sound like would be very difficult to come in and do it. Because like if like those examples like James Brown or Kamasi Washington or even like the old school like jazz battles where you'd have like Buddy Rich and Max Roach and them play together, it's like knowing that you have to take a step back sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
if Courtney's like on the ride, I'm probably not going to play my ride at that point. He's going to take that and I'll do something more like on the hi-hat or a stack or something.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't want to muddy everything up. It's like you want to make everything clear as opposed to being selfish
Yeah, we
and
did
taking
that.
everything.
We did that right at the top of the A section.
100%.
Like we would start when we started before your line came in. I was starting on the stack.
Mhm.
You were on the hi hat,
Mhm.
and then as soon as we brought down and the line came in, I went over here and you went to the stack.
Yep.
And so I was on the hi hat. So we just automatically just did it. You know what I mean? And you could hear it just go like you said, the seamlessness. It's like, okay, I can't tell who's carrying what. It's just working together. You know what I'm saying, for this one sound. It was dope.
Yeah.
Y'all are like Nate and Sput.
That's the goal. I mean,
Oh,
like
man,
they're
them
locked.
dudes are
They're locked.
ridiculous.
It's the craziest thing.
Man.
So, yeah.
Crazy,
What else we
crazy.
got? Let's talk about biscuits.
And gravy.
Nah, man, no gravy on no biscuit, brother. You put a little butter on it, put a little honey on it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you like sweet
Whoa.
biscuits.
Okay.
Your forehead like sweet stuff. You better leave me alone.
Okay.